Close your eyes. Now open your mind. Now open your eyes. You find yourself in darkness, but not without light. Hello, my name is Eric Burke, and I'll be your host and guide to the enlightened world. These strangers next to me will become your closest companions over the next hour.
Dr. William Prosper. I have an honorary PhD in musicology from Mark David Chapman University.
Professor Dave Proctor, Department of Ringo-Enterology at the Magical Mystery Hospital.
Matthew Winkler, John Lennon's eighth cousin.
We are your conspiracy theorists, and we are here to show you the truth. Welcome home. There's no going back. There never was. Or was there? There wasn't.
Fact. Conspiracy theories. Truth. Conspiracy theories. Not truth. Conspiracy theories. Aliens. Conspiracy theories. Aliens too. Conspiracy theories. Mel Gibson. Conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories.
Hello and welcome to Conspiracy Theories, the only conspiracy theory podcast on iTunes. I'm your host, Eric Burke, joined tonight by
Will Prosper.
Matthew.
Dave Proctor.
Tonight, Matthew will be our conspiracy theorist. Matt.
I chose the topic of Paul McCartney's death. Is he actually dead? Did he die that fateful night in the car accident? Or has he been alive this whole time? The date was November 5th, 1966. Paul McCartney stormed out of a recording session and died in a fatal car crash. Lookalike contests were held, and William Campbell became Paul McCartney forever. So basically, Paul McCartney's been dead since the Revolver recording sessions. Now, he has a history of accidents. He crashed a moped before, a couple bikes.
Bunch of parties.
But yeah, he did that too.
I've actually compiled a list of my top 5 favorite Beatles.
Number 5,
June.
Paul
Mick
Schaefer.
Jagger.
Number 4, Dung.
So the evidence is all there. Paul McCartney being dead.
Can we point out that you just outlit referenced me, and I'm very happy for that? Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, Glamorama, I'm like, that's dumb, man. What
Up
are
to
you
this
doing?
point, I was pretty sure the only book you ever read was Haunted.
Haunted is a great book.
It's all you reference.
No, Catcher in the Rye. Holden Caulfield.
Uh-oh. Mark David Chapman.
J.D. Salinger, Chapter 27. I have that movie. It's good. Jared Leto gets fat and Lindsay Lohan shows her bush.
I love how those are like your two main criteria for a movie being good.
Yeah.
We're really fortunate that like The Godfather 2 had all of those things.
I've been wanting to squash this beef for decades. The proof's in the pudding. That's
Okay,
what he's saying.
hold on. I haven't had dinner. And you're only talking about squash and beef and pudding.
We should make squash beef pudding.
Which is actually Paul McCartney's favorite meal before he passed away.
Allegedly.
It's my second favorite Captain Beefheart record after Trent Mask Replica.
So we've all heard the foibles before.
Satisfaction, yeah.
The backwards tape of Paul is dead, miss him, and I buried Paul and those things, and then
Ruby Tuesday.
Ruby Tuesday.
Yeah.
Is this what it's going to be? The infamous album covers, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Paul McCartney's on the back facing the opposite way.
Just, okay,
Yeah.
and the other one, just so that everyone in our audience
Abbey
knows.
Road,
Yep.
where they are featured walking across the street and dressed in the appropriate attire for a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
John is wearing all white and he's the clergyman. Ringo is in black, the undertaker. George is in denim because obviously the gravedigger wears denim.
I thought John was supposed to be Jesus.
I heard clergyman or religious figure.
religious figure, yeah, like
Yeah,
an
yeah.
angel figure. I figured
But also,
clergyman was
Paul's
more.
left-handed and he's holding a cigarette in the right hand.
Paul is actually barefoot as well, and he's walking out of step with the rest of them.
How big were his feet?
Size 27,000.
Holy shit.
Bringing it back.
Oh, I'm just hanging out in the Pacific Northwest. Hanging out with my feet out. Stomping around the bush.
Yeah, what year was that? That was filmed in like 66.
What, the
Bigfoot
Patterson
sighting.
footage?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the same year that Hard Day's Night came out.
I know for a fact that Paul McCartney is an avid consumer of gluten, so it can't be him.
How do you know that for a fact?
I've broken bread with Paul.
Oh, that's upsetting.
You squashed the beef and broke the bread?
Can I get a really nerdy reference out of the way? Every time I hear Paul McCartney's name, I think of the Minutemen song Joe McCarthy's Ghost. And I keep saying, Paul McCartney's Ghost, Paul McCartney's Ghost in my head. And no one will care about that except for me.
And us, Paul McCartney's Ghost.
Oh my God. Paul McCartney died and joined the Minutemen.
Debunked. That's the end.
Double nickels on the dime.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Michael Azerrad covered that in Our Band Could Be Your Life, so that's not really new news, but, you know.
We're expanding minds on this podcast today.
Michael Azerrad, we're really big fans of yours.
So far, on the Conspiracy Theory Book Club, we have Michael Azerad's Our Band Could Be Your Life, Bret Easton Ellis' Glamorama, and Chuck Palahniuk's Haunted. Reading is powerful.
We don't use the same pop filter every week, so I don't know whose breath I'm smelling, but I assume that someone is smelling my beer breath as well.
I'm assuming that whoever was sitting here last week or in front of this pop filter was like breathing in a lighter. Like it smells very butane-y. Butaneous.
Should we all do a sniff test just now?
That's going to be good audio.
I got me some Dave.
Yeah.
I got
That
me
was
some,
a really, really clever way to hide the fact that we're doing a lot of cocaine. Good work, Matt. Good work.
which is
gotta
a
do another-
major plot point of most breast-eating Ellis novels.
You definitely just had some cocaine.
Which is a major plot point of most Bret Easton Ellis. You just do what you want with that, Eric.
So,
Nuts and berries, baby. Nuts and berries.
so back to the topic at hand. Who actually should get writing credit for Cheer Up Sleepy Jean? Was that Lennon or McCartney?
At left hand. Hey, Matt is angry. He really likes the Beatles too much. He wants to do this podcast, but we're so out of touch.
He's getting really upset, so I'm going to just do an emotional rescue here.
Is there nothing I can say?
I just can't get no satisfaction from this podcast.
Nothing I can do?
The death of Paul actually explains the shift in songwriting from Revolver into Sgt. Pepper's, though.
Yeah,
Like, it's completely different.
yeah.
Like, as if, like, a very singular voice is now missing from the, creative process.
Was Revolver before Peppers? Pardon me.
Yes,
No.
it was.
Yeah, Revolver was, yeah. It was
Isn't
the album
that the
before.
session that he walked out of?
That was the section.
Revolver
yeah,
he walked out of, and then Peppers, it was backwards, yeah. I
Yeah.
just didn't know if it was the pardon me, chronology was out of whack in my head.
Yeah. No, the Beatles chronology is all weird because they actually recorded Let It Be before Abbey Road, but it got released afterward. Which is, I'm going to make a reference to Abbey Road being their last album, and people are going to be like, all of our listeners are going to be like, where wasn't it Let It Be?
Because they didn't want to release Let It Be.
Well,
They probably should.
Are all of
They
our
put-
listeners Chunk from the Goonies, by the way?
Yeah. Here, there, and everywhere.
Yesterday.
Stubby. Nope. And we're back. They turned over the master files to Crazy Hair,
Phil Spector?
Bob Rock.
Phil Spector, and Phil Spector didn't return them. And then when he did, Paul McCartney hated the album so much. Or William Campbell didn't like the album at all. So he tried to stop it from being released.
I feel like after saying that, you can just walk out of the room.
You got me I'm gluten pudding.
This is the yeast of your words.
It's a wonder you got through that.
Welcome to Bread Puncast.
It's a
Why are you
continuity.
doing
We got to
this?
keep it going.
Why are you doing this?
Oh, I hate us. Please continue, Matthew.
Please continue.
Very nice. Very nice. So my first theory is that Paul McCartney is actually a shapeshifter
Oh, wow.
who can go from heaven to earth whenever he chooses.
Okay.
In his article of life, ironic, dated November 7th, 1969, 3 years after he died, he was quoted in saying, "I was switched on for 10 years. Now I'm switching off whenever I can, because when he was dead, his reasoning was, I'm not in the news a lot because when I get my time off, I like to take my time off." But I read it as he can switch on and off from being a life form and being an angel-like figure, like a ghost. He's a shapeshifter who can teleport from heaven to earth, mainly to play concerts and collaborate on songs with his dad, Kanye West.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's pretty concrete.
Who may or may not be a lizard person.
Yeah.
Just to bring it back.
Total lizard person.
So he gets in an accident and he starts talking about turning himself on and off. May I posit that he is a cyborg?
I think you may, Eric.
It also explains his shift from analog recordings to digital
Whoa.
Okay.
and his terrible Christmas song.
Yeah, he doesn't understand Christmas.
Simply having a
beep,
wonderful
bop, boop,
Christmas
beep, beep.
time.
And that's enough.
End program.
And his last record, Approximating Human Behavior, just lost me completely.
Because it approximates human behavior.
I think Eric's a cyborg.
That's a different podcast.
Or mildly autistic.
That is also a third separate podcast to this one.
Eric Burke, the Abed Nadir of this podcast.
Is that like an Isaac Asimov thing?
That's exactly an Isaac Asimov thing.
He invented the 3 rules of autism. Shit.
Rule number 1.
You could not say it. You are autistic. Banana.
We cannot do cancer followed by
Autism jokes. We can't do this. We can't do
banana
this.
the shit.
Okay,
out
I
of
called
this.
my mom a cunt in the second episode.
She's not going to
last
listen. At
episode.
least one
That
autistic
cunt
person.
can't use iTunes. She's
At
not
least-
going to hear this.
At least one autistic person will listen to a Conspiracy
Banana.
Theories podcast. What are some of Paul McCartney's bigger singles in the period since he died to now?
As a solo artist,
Yeah.
I don't follow his solo career because it's not Paul McCartney.
Or as a robo artist?
His hit single was Barely Walking.
Oh, God. Is he rolling?
He might have been rolling. He had one song called Oh My God. Oobla dee, oobla da. Bop boop beep bop boop ba.
I think that was actually the robot command code at the end of The Day the Earth Stood Still.
That is the phonetic binary.
Ah, phonetic binary. I'm glad that one of us was finally an
Yeah,
expert. in
phonetic
this.
That makes
binary,
sense, though,
phonetic
because the
binary.
lyrics of Obla Di Obla Da.
Life goes on.
life
It's
goes
primarily of numbers.
La la beep bop boop beat. Life goes on.
And what you just, Obla Di Obla Da, everybody knows that that's binary code. And I believe once you take those ones and zeros, and then you put it into Microsoft Word, and then you switch fonts to Wingdings.
Hold on now. Are we asking the right questions here?
That's awful.
Are you a Wingdings expert?
I am a Wingdings expert.
He is a fontist of the third order.
So anyways, when
I
you...
like the spontaneity of this conversation.
Yeah.
So when...
His words have a lot of impact.
I should probably note that I'm the oldest member of the conspiracy theorists.
So you speak in dot matrix? What? There's no excuse for what you're doing.
I do.
Hey, we can all be comics fans about this, but let's get down to business here.
So when those ones and zeros are switched into the font Wingdings, you have, in sequential order, clockwise from the top left, all of the faces of the people who are referenced on the Sgt. Pepper cover.
Whoa.
But Paul is missing. So Life Goes On, apparently just not Paul's.
That's a bold statement.
You got to be shifting me.
I'm not shifting you.
Let's strike through the bullshit here.
Can we just retain some semblance of control?
I want to put a caps lock on this, and I want to get back to Will. Continue, please.
Actually, you know what? I think this is a really appropriate time for Eric to enter the discussion.
Formatting of this show is very important.
I'll take control. So,
Hello there. It seems like you're trying to conduct a podcast.
Escape! Keyboard puns. We're done. We got 2 more episodes in us tops.
Microsoft Word. We've hit the bottom of the well.
This is like when Kareth Race became an angel.
Did you just spoil most of Battlestar Galactica?
No.
I spoiled the worst parts of Battlestar Galactica.
All right, that's
for you.
good.
So you'll thank me because you've been warned.
Now you're going to think I'm an out-of-this-world drunk, like I've been drinking at a space bar. But this one's going to hit you. The next 2 kind of coincide with each other. And
We're laughing too much at Spacebar right now. We should return to Matthew, though. These aren't good puns. Why are we laughing?
We're not good people.
And for those of you that have signed up for the paid subscription of Conspiracy Theories, you'll be receiving the real puns in 6 to 8 weeks.
Continue.
Please continue, Matthew. Eric will edit most of this out. Bananas.
Please edit this.
Welcome to This Is My Fucking Life podcast. It's the only way I can hang out with my friends.
Hey! Sad.
I get to keep their voices.
Oh, fuck.
human sacrifice.
You're saying that there is an element of human sacrifice that relates to the Beatles?
Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
In 1966, John Lennon claimed that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
To which Jesus replied, "Hey, it's tough work up here," and haunted the Beatles during their recording of Revolver. Okay? This caused the Beatles to strike a deal with God, in which, after the album was completed, they would sacrifice Paul, the one with the voice of an angel. George Harrison's Taxman is about the Beatles paying their dues. Eleanor Rigby, is about the impending funeral of Paul McCartney, and Here, There, and Everywhere is Paul's apology to God, saying that he's always watching. But within that deal, Paul was allowed to come to Earth for photo shoots and limited recording time, which is when the band stopped touring and started to fall apart.
That's a lot to take in.
I think initially, like, it's a bit of a flat theory, but if we brainstorm, we can probably turn this fodder into wine.
We've got to hold ourselves to a higher standard than this.
Let's just talk. Let's just get down. Let's get down to brass tacks, man, about this.
Let's do that.
Okay, you can tell me. You can say any title from that record, and it's all a direct correlation to Paul's death.
Hold on, I don't remember the track listing of Revolver, but I'm just going to Wikipedia a random article search right now.
Yep.
Baby boop boop boop, baby just be boop, baby
This is the sound we make when somebody's consulting internet
Okay, wait, no, we really got to discover how to do this. On the
Oh
phone.
my fucking
Oh
god!
my God.
You just go to the fucking side.
I'm
you
there.
hit random search.
So
Can you name some songs off of Revolver?
So, would you say that when Paul McCartney was talking about his ability to transport himself to heaven and earth, perhaps he wasn't going up; he was going down into the depths?
I'm really down. That's a song from one of the Beatles' first albums.
Yeah, and how do you get down below? Oh, you have to go in the water, perhaps in some colored vessel.
Yellow submarine.
A yellow submarine.
I think they prefer vessels of color.
Vessels of color.
They prefer African submarines.
Banana. Oh.
Pacific Americans, Matthew. What was the name of the doctor who proclaimed him dead?
Dr. Orville Redenbacher.
Which is the same as a title on Revolver called
Dr. Roberts.
So let's go back to the date of Paul McCartney's accident, the one he supposedly died in. Can you give me that date again?
November 5th, 1966.
Remember.
The 5th of November.
Of the year 66.
The Paul McCartney fake death plot.
Paul McCartney passed, and the Beatles just gasped, but continued on because they were dicks. Holy fuck.
Right? That's the poem.
That is the poem, but the weird thing is that was written preceding, I guess, the Beatles' existence.
I feel like Guy Fawkes knew that this was going to happen.
I think Guy Fawkes totally knew that this was going to happen.
And we can say ipso facto that all of 4chan is officially complicit to this conspiracy.
I feel like that's a moot point.
I feel like I don't get that joke.
4chan as well.
I would love to hear your theories, David.
Okay, well, Matthew, I'm sorry if I've sounded incredulous this entire time. But I have some counter theories.
So, before we continue,
Why would you say you would love to hear anything that I have to say and then stop me?
I want to say Dr. Robert, like I'm not surprised about it.
As you slowly graduate to what I assume is going to become a top bun, I'm going to not give you any slack.
Oh, for those that are not subscribed to our video podcast, Matthew is wearing a man ponytail today.
I can't see the truth through the hair that falls in front of my face.
I did greet him with, "Hey, what's up, Last Samurai," when he got in earlier on.
Yo, Jimbo, I know you don't want to pick a side on this fight.
Dr. Robert!
Also wore a ponytail.
You know what? This is great for an audio podcast. Let's make fun of someone's haircut.
That's a top knot, Matthew.
It's a top-notch joke.
Next week on Quaffcast.
Wait, I really like the idea of an audio podcast where we just talk about haircuts.
You have a really nice perm.
Yeah.
That is a perm.
I work really hard and spend a lot of money to look like Patrick Duffy.
You could do what I do and spend no money to look like a squeegee kid. Eric's bald.
The Lord is my barber.
Dr. Robert!
Banana.
Episode 5 of Quaffcast is where they really started to gel.
Also, I'm not bald, I'm balding.
You're baldhead. You can make fun of my hair as well.
Here, looks like shit.
You look like it's last day at camp.
So you're trying to tell me that you think Paul McCartney's alive?
State your case.
Shortly after the car crash, rumors abound. Paul McCartney is dead. Paul McCartney is dead. Blah, blah, blah. Right around the time that they stop actually going out on tour and people stop seeing the Beatles. One of the major contributors to this rumor, a jockey at WKNR Radio by the name of Russ Gibb.
Yes, I saw that. He brought it to light, but he didn't write the original.
He did not write the
paper.
original, but he actually took the original and ran with it so hard. He did a 2-hour expose on the radio. He did another 1-hour show and got cut off because he was doing too much.
And you know that
Of
Russ
course.
Gibb is a credible source because he was actually the fourth Bee Gee.
That's exactly right.
So you're in England, and you notice this band, the Beatles, who back then was just another English band, and they're taking all this spotlight. And your cousin Barry is trying to start his band, and I'm pretty sure they're from England. I didn't extend my research that
are
way, but
Australian.
as far as I'm concerned, they're from England,
They're from the criminal England,
Right.
Australia.
which is a colony, which is fine.
The land of Vegemite
Your-
gargling convicts.
That's not a band.
So imagine this: you're a radio DJ, and your cousin Barry, off in the prison colonies, is trying to start a band, and all you want to do is look out for them. Of course, you're going to try to discredit the biggest band in the Commonwealth, as far as your cousin is concerned.
What's the only way to become in power?
Using language?
Money.
You kill the top.
Okay.
Fuck, yeah, prison rules.
Man,
I
the
can
muffin
dig this.
law.
Prison rules.
Prison rules.
Man, I thought it was language. This is why I'm not in power.
No, he killed. They said, okay, we need to kill the top, and then we take over.
Okay, let's not mince
Kill
words
Paul
here.
McCartney.
The lizards are why neither of us are in power, but I digress. I'm sorry.
Pardon me.
Continue.
So your theory is that the Bee Gees sabotaged the Beatles to become the biggest band. Then why did the Bee Gees appear in the TV movie Magical Mystery Tour with Pete Frampton?
See, my
Keep your
theory.
enemies closer
My
Thank you
theory
very much, Eric.
Holy fuck.
to the
why
heart.
the Bee Gees would have sabotaged the Beatles is because alphabetically, Bee Gees comes after Beatles whenever you're sorting through records at the record store.
Yep.
And the fucking Bee Gees were tired of playing second hat because everybody would go, oh, Beach Boys, Beatles. I'm going to buy those records. And then the Bee Gees were just like left there holding their dicks.
The
Nobody
Bee Gees were
wants
left
that.
in the background.
So you're saying the Bee Gees kept their enemies closer and took the Beatles songs and re-recorded them with Pete Frampton and created the movie.
Yep. That's actually, I couldn't have said it better if I was actually saying it.
Well, I did. So we'll say Matthew
Wow.
said that.
It sounds like I've started to sway you. Now I'm going to continue positing as to why this hoax of a hoax is in fact a hoax.
Of course.
Strawberry Fields Forever. So one of the biggest, if not the biggest, contributors to the whole hoax is that at the end of Strawberry Fields Forever, John Lennon says, I buried Paul. Now, I would like to put forward to you that this whole Paul McCartney is dead bullshit is actually a hoax used to disguise the fact that John Lennon and George Harrison are in fact the same person.
I would love to hear more about this because as the story goes, George Harrison looked up to John Lennon when he was younger and learned how to play guitar exactly like John Lennon, joined the Beatles, and became more of a John Lennon figure in the band. Now, George Harrison gets credited for about 2 or 3 songs a record, which sound completely different than Lennon and McCartney compositions.
Because George Harrison is the best Beatle.
Because George Harrison is John Lennon tapping into another. Are you saying he's schizophrenic or that they're the same person?
I'm saying that the same person, there is an identity assumption.
Okay.
Maybe some sort of mutual murder. I wasn't there. I don't know.
Okay.
How does one mutually murder?
I'll get back to you on that. I don't know.
You know, Mutual Murder are looking for a keyboard player. Any keyboard players out there?
So it's interesting you mentioned that John Lennon says, I buried Paul.
Yes. Now, let me...
I don't know how much you guys know about wrestling nomenclature. But to
None,
bury to bury another wrestler means to just completely destroy them. And Paul McCartney was posed to end Undertaker's legendary WrestleMania 21-0 streak.
It's true. Paul McCartney's finisher, it's a submission hold called the Octopus Garden, right? That's what that is?
Yes!
You were waiting a week to fucking make that.
Fucking weak!
And that's how you know Will's back on the podcast.
Coming up next week on Will and Eric Talk Wrestling and Alienate Their Friends.
That same joke.
Do you think that Paul McCartney was a better heel as a taxman in WCW, or do you think that when he went to WWE...
You know what? When people go on iTunes and they're like, I want to hear a podcast about conspiracy theories, what they're really saying is I want deep cut wrestling humor. That's what they're really saying. Stop gorilla monsooning this podcast.
I'm technically Pearl Harboring it.
Conspiracy theories and wrestling is almost like a tag team.
I mean, let's face it. If we're going to be honest, Paul screwed Paul. I mean, let's just get that
absolutely.
out.
I can't Paul Bearer this conversation any longer.
I like how you had to qualify that one.
No, he tries though. I like it.
I have no idea what the fuck's happening.
Like,
I came here to talk about Paul McCartney.
Well, Paul Bearer was the manager
know.
of the Undertaker.
Okay. As I stated earlier before Eric edited all of this out, the entire Paul McCartney is dead hoax is itself a cover-up for the fact that George Harrison and John Lennon are the same person. And I point to this first fact. On the Abbey Road cover, John Lennon is the what?
The clergyman?
Ringo Starr is the what?
The
Drummer. He's not even the best drummer in the Beatles.
On the cover of Abbey Road, Ringo Starr is the what?
the mourner or the Undertaker.
The Undertaker. George Harrison is the what?
Canadian tuxedo.
Best Beatle. Guy who gets stabbed when a guy breaks into his house.
This is the worst game of charades I've ever played.
They actually edited out his fanny pack because he was the wrestler. And that's a Tombstone Cold Hard fact.
Oh, terrible.
And that's what The Rock was cooking.
George Harrison is the
Grave digger. Dave Matthews reference.
Don't do that here. Not in this house.
Have some fucking respect.
George Harrison is the gravedigger. But John Lennon said, I buried Paul. John Lennon is confessing that he and George Harrison are one and the same. Think about it. Since that day, have you ever seen the two of them in the same place at the same time?
I feel like if I imagined enough,
Imagined.
that's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'd like to be under the sea.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is really good in Hercules Beetle.
Corn in the Beat.
Oh, fuck you, audience. Follow that line of puns. Okay, sorry, Matt, what were you saying?
Conan and the Beetleberrian. I buried Paul. What song is that in?
Strawberry Fields Forever.
Do you think that maybe he just smeared berries on Paul one day?
No, Matt, I don't think so.
Okay, well, put that in your fucking nugget farm, in your cranium. I buried Paul.
Nugget Farm. Don't download it on Facebook, by the way. It's full of viruses.
If man is five.
If man is five, man is five.
And the devil is six.
And the devil is six. And the devil is six.
And
If
the
the devil
devil
is
is
6, then God is 7.
Paul McCartney is 8.
Paul McCartney is 8.
Debunked.
This Beatles gone to heaven.
Side note, I watched a Total Recall remake today. Or the other day.
Shit is fucked.
Take everything that's really cool about Total Recall.
Yep.
Like Mars and like the spirituality mixed with sci-fi.
Yeah.
And get rid of all of that. And then you got the and film it in Toronto.
Right.
And then you got Total Recall.
Right on.
Remake.
You should have total recalled that movie.
Okay.
Totally. Your name is Dennis Quaid. No, wait. Your name is Karl Hauser.
Your name is Randy Quaid.
Wait, there is no way.
There's celebrities after you
Did
that
I
are trying
say
to
Dennis
kill you.
Quaid?
Yeah, he said Dennis Quaid from In Good Company. Starring Topher Grace and
What's
Scarlett
his name, though?
Johansson.
It's something, Douglas Quaid, right? There's no way that a man with, like, a middle Austrian accent wakes up one day and accepts the fact that his name is Douglas Quaid and not Karl Hauser. If you can't say your name with the proper, like, consonant pronunciations, it's not your real name.
Your name is Waspy Waspington. Your name is Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. You've collaborated with Peter Gabriel on numerous songs. Get your ass to Mars.
That was an essential digression.
All right, so we gonna get back on track.
What John Lennon actually said was apparently cranberry sauce. But that album recorded close to American Thanksgiving. What's George Harrison's favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Cranberry sauce.
Right. Because they're the same person. And in the recording session, he wanted a little sweet red. the idea of them pushing this whole Paul is dead conspiracy is a way for them to distract from the fact that they're actually the same person. Think about it.
Right.
When John Lennon died, you started seeing George Harrison pop up everywhere. And then when George Harrison died, you didn't see either of them anymore.
Hold on a second.
Wait.
I have an interesting theory. And I may be just splitting hairs. And I may just be I may be grasping at straws here. But Paul McCartney was featured in a track called Only One.
The Only One.
The Only One. Now, if we are going to be talking about Paul McCartney's astounding ability to just sort of live for very, very, very long periods of time,
Transcendent or otherwise.
transcendent or otherwise, I've got to ask you, what other beings live for long amounts of time and there could be only one?
Highlanders?
Highlanders. Paul McCartney might be a Highlander. What album marked a resurgence in the Beatles' popularity? Number 1.
And some say that it wasn't I buried Paul, but it was
Highlander Paul.
We are through the looking glass
This
here,
looks
people.
pretty good so far.
Yeah, I think we're making some serious ground on this.
So let's continue this train of thought. 2 Beatles are dead. John Lennon, George Harrison.
Possibly one Beatle.
Only remaining Beatle left, as far as the Beatles who were popular, Ringo Starr. Now, logic would dictate that if Paul McCartney was a Highlander, were the other Beatles Highlanders as well? Is Paul trying to murder his way to be the only Beatle?
Or what if this is proven in maybe a couple of years when we see Ringo Starr die, and there is only one?
Who wants to live forever? Paul McCartney.
Wings.
Wings. There was a movie called The One that starred
Jet Li.
Jet.
Lee.
Jet has,
Wings.
Jet Li.
in which he had to kill all of the versions of himself to which he would become the strongest. Now, if Paul McCartney created Wings, there may have been a huge chance that Jet starred in the movie The One, which is an autobiographical Paul McCartney movie.
Jet Li is sort of the subservient, complicit conspirator to Paul McCartney being alive this entire time, but also dead as a Highlander.
We need to get Jet Li on the phone.
Whose phone's ringing? I explicitly asked you guys to fucking turn your phones off.
It's mine.
Oh, actually, it's mine. I don't recognize the number.
Maybe you should answer that at, I don't know.
All of our phones are ringing simultaneously,
Wow, that is weird.
but they're all the same number.
So what should we do?
I think you should answer the phone, man.
One of
should
us
all
should.
answer.
One
the
of us
phone?
has to answer the phone.
Why don't we
Wait.
all answer the phone?
And all say hello at the exact same time, so everyone at home knows that we're all answering at the same
All right,
time.
guys, are you ready?
All right, everybody answer the phone on 1,
2,
3.
3.
Hello.
Yeah, it's Jet Li, you guys. I heard my fucking name, and I just, I don't know, fucking, you guys are talking about Paul McCartney being a Highlander or something? Just fucking, just I don't know, lay it on me. Just tell me, what are some facts? I want some supporting facts.
Now, can I call you Jet?
No, you can't fucking call me Jet. You call me Mr. Lee, for fuck's sakes.
Mr. Lee, your accent is
I'm
very interesting.
Specific.
It's very Hong Kong. You Guilo, you think we all sound the same. It's racism, but I digress. Get back to the fact making.
Now, did you star in a Paul McCartney autobiographical flick?
Yes, I did. It was the one.
The One.
Yes.
Is this because Paul McCartney is Highlander?
No. It was because of Paul McCartney's proclivity for golden showers. That was why I was in that movie.
It's widely known that the 1 was the prequel to the 2. Do you feel like the series jumped the shark?
I absolutely feel that the series jumped the shark. Yes.
Banana.
Yeah, that was
This is not good.
No, it's fine. I was going to make a joke that was a continuation. Eric wanted to make his generic sequel joke.
When John said, the Beatles are bigger than Jesus. Yeah. As we all know, it is an English custom that you defer respect to the largest person in the room.
Yep.
And by approximate weight, they were combined bigger than Jesus.
Physically,
Totally,
much larger.
much larger than Jesus.
Now,
like if the Beatles were Voltron, and they all sort of like mashed their components together, they would physically be larger than Jesus.
Now you're saying that? Are you inferring that Ringo may be Jesus?
Banana.
That's banana? Really? That's banana? Fucking kidding me? Should have banana 27 minutes ago. Fucking debunked. I'm out of here.
All right, guys.
No, I'm out of here.
Guys, I think right now.
I have neighbors.
Neighbors can suck 18 Kanye West dicks. Fucking kidding me? That's the best. This has been Conspiracy Theories. Have a fucking great night.
Na 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 na. Paul's dead. Na 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 na. Na na na. Paul's dead.
I want to be
Na na
under the sea in an octopus's garden in my mind. I want to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in my
Enough!
mind.
Eric, come on.
I
man.
refuse to participate in this ad hominem.
Na 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 na
How is
na.
ad hominem?
Theories. Conspiracy theories. Not truth. Conspiracy theories. Aliens. Conspiracy theories. Aliens too. Conspiracy theories. Wildcats. Conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories.
Should we cheers in the middle here?
They won't pick up.
That's fine. It's for us.
Oh, yes.
I'm cheersing for us. I'm not
Yes,
cheersing
no.
for
Cardio and Mike won't pick up our friendship. I can't prove that I have any friends with these microphones.
I mix these podcasts and surround sounds like I have more friends than I do.
5 point none.
Good one, Matthew. 8.